Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Y'all make sure you hit the show with Heavy Bag Boxing, baby.
Get your dumb ass in, hit this bag.
The Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Y'all just go ahead and subscribe to Heavy Bag Boxing TV because he be lit on his channel.
And Heavy Bag Boxing.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Yo, shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV. That's my little bro.
Strength 412 in the building. Shout out to my guy T.O. Heavy Bag Boxing TV. Get your bitch ass in here and hit this bag.
Heavy Bag Boxing, alright? You heard it from me. You heard it here first.
Heavy Bags Boxing. Straight out of Norfolk, baby. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
You are tuned in to Heavy Bag Boxing. Get your and hit this bag, dude.
Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing. It's the one and only Blazer Flair. Woo!
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Zach Super Judah, 6-time champion world. I'm giving a big shout out to my home team, Heavy Bag TV. You heard? Keep it live.
This is Showtime Sean Porter, and you are watching Heavy Bag Boxing.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Y'all make sure you hit the show with Heavy Bag Boxing, baby.
Get your dumb ass in, hit this bag.
The Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Y'all just go ahead and subscribe to Heavy Bag Boxing TV because he be lit on his channel.
And Heavy Bag Boxing.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Yo, shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV. That's my little bro.
Strength 412 in the building. Shout out to my guy T.O. Heavy Bag Boxing TV. Get your bitch ass in here and hit this bag.
Heavy Bag Boxing, alright? You heard it from me. You heard it here first.
Heavy Bags Boxing. Straight out of Norfolk, baby. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
You are tuned in to Heavy Bag Boxing. Get your and hit this bag.
Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing. It's the one and only Blazer Flair. Woo!
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Zach Super Judah, 6-time champion world. I'm giving a big shout out to my home team, Heavy Bag TV. You heard? Keep it live.
This is Showtime Sean Porter, and you are watching Heavy Bag Boxing.
You too. Yeah. Oh, it feels good to be back. Especially with a whole lot of crazy work.
Yo, that's crazy work.
What up, YouTube? Big TL Heavy Bag TV. Man, if you don't get your big goofy ass in here and hit the bag. Oh. You got one more time and you're through. One more time, you're through. And I don't care about none of it. I really don't care about none of it. Man, it's been a minute. Damn, this might have been about a month since a nigga did actual live. Shout out to the gang, man. It's always holding me down. I'm about to build this live audience back up so when I go live, I can get you guys back in here. But definitely want to talk about what's popping now, a weekend recap, and fresh off the presses. Shout out my guy Punch Man who bring it to my attention. And the one source that I do like to go to that has been legitimate, right? That has a lot of credibility, and that's Mike Benson. I follow him on Twitter. And he posted this, says Jerron Booth and his versus Teofimo Lopez is now in talks as a potential fight for Booth, the IBF welterweight title. Bob Arum has revealed they've approached Eddie Hearn about making the bout as a joint DAZN and ESPN pay-per-view. And listen, I gotta admit, I like the fight, but I still feel some kind of way about Booth. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. I've been a big advocate for Boots over the past 3 years. I was a part of that Boots hype train. You know, and listen, I'm gonna keep it funky. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna pump fake like a lot of these guys be pump faking. As soon as a particular guy who they felt good about or, you know, help build hype around, as soon as he get out of pocket, they abandon ship. I'm not doing that. I still do believe Boots is a talented, extremely talented fighter and a force to be reckoned with until proven differently. But I gotta admit, I just don't like how he moving, right? I don't like it. We knew that Boots Ortiz, and we've known this for a few years now, would eventually come to a head. We thought it would be at 47. Turns out that it can't be, right? Boots said himself, he knows that Virgil can't make 147 pounds. But he also said himself that he feels like he feel better and have better power at 54. And I just never thought the opportunity would come for Boots to fight Virgil Ortiz Jr. And he turns it down, right? And he actually did that. I got some audio I want us to listen. We'll also recap the weekend. Navarrete, Oscar Valdez, of course, the main events, and Liam Paro. Shout out my Aussie family. And Richardson Hitchens, all right, Africa himself, the Brooklyn native. All right, I want to definitely get to this Boots audio. I do have the link in the comment section if, in fact, you would like to join your boy. But let's hear what Boots had to say himself about potentially fighting at 54 and exactly what he wants to do. Hold on, guys. I'm not getting the audio. Let me see if I can get the damn audio. Not sure why it's not playing. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can get that audio popping.
Is Jerron in his plans for his next bout? Because the world wants to know.
2025 for my next bout, unification.
And that's all you want?
That's all I want, unification. You know, I like I said before, I gotta get my hands, you know, on one of those belts, you know, and I gotta get that feeling of taking a belt from somebody. And I have, like I said, I have yet to feel that feeling yet, and I feel like that's what I need for my career and my legacy. Like, I need to feel that feeling of taking that belt from somebody, and I feel like that stamp myself. Like for me, I feel better about myself, you know, at 147.
Man, listen, I can respect that, and even though I'm mad because I never thought the opportunity would come. Right, I never thought that Eddie would be down or Oscar would be down to put him in the ring with Boots this early on, and it'd be up to Boots. And he actually turns down that fight, right? I just never thought that would happen. But for his reasons, I'm just trying to place myself in Boots, all right? Pun intended. You hear that all the time about fighters not caring about legacy. We look at Tank and you say, man, whatever, you know, he doesn't give a damn about legacy. But here's somebody who definitely has legacy in mind, or at least it appears to be that way, because this is the excuse that he's given us. Now, I'm not telling you or saying that it's a great excuse. I'm not saying that it's the greatest excuse in the world, but this is somebody who obviously is thinking about legacy, who is obviously trying to avoid that talk like, oh, well, he's the email champ. He never took a scrap from anybody. He's got over 30 fights. He ain't done nothing. He ain't took no world title. You know what I'm saying? So with those things in mind, I think that could have led to a decision. Again, am I a fan of that decision? Hell no. Do I believe he should just move to 54 where all the names is, where all the money is, where we feel like it's a stacked division? Absolutely, right? When you look at the 47 landscape, you just feel like, hey, what is there left for you to really do, Boots, versus a bunch of guys that nobody's truly going to give you a ton of credit for. But according to Boots, he would like that feeling and for his legacy to step in there and unify versus one of these other guys. And I'm just saying, that's extremely hard to be mad at. Can you really truly be mad at Boots for wanting to fulfill that destiny at 47? I'm gonna say no. But can you be mad about him turning down the fight, of course, with Virgil Ortiz in this moment, in this hour? Hell yeah, because in my opinion, you could go back to 47. Now, according to Boots, he also says, it'll be almost impossible for him to return to 47. But also, when you look at it, I mean, what kind of legacy do you really truly think you're going to build at 47 when the consensus is, when everybody feels like the real competition is not at 47, right? When more than likely you're going to be the favorite versus the rest of the champions at 47. So that'll get you to lean back towards, hey man, what are you doing here? Why would you turn down a fight with Virgil Ortiz? So that's, I mean, for a lot of fans, especially boot fans, hardcore boxing fans, Virgil Ortiz fans, that's one that you just, it's hard to take that one on the chin, man, because you really wanted to see that fight and you really thought that could be one of those mega fights for Boots Ennis, right? Not in the terms of sales, but in the terms of hardcore fan bases, especially for Boots and Virgil tuning in, and the boxing hardcore fan base period, that definitely sells out and that definitely garners a lot of eyeballs for Boots Ennis. So yeah, man, of course I'm mad at him. Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? God damn it. It deserves an investigation. FBI, open up! Open the hell up, Boots. For real. It's hard not to be mad at it. But for those reasons, I guess I get it, right? Because this will eventually fade, especially depending on what Boots is able to accomplish moving forward, right? You might got that one hater that might say, hey man, you remember when Boots turned down that Virgil Ortiz fight? Even if he goes on to 54 and eventually fights Virgil Ortiz. But to be completely mad at him for wanting to say, hey, I want to keep my legacy intact, I want to fulfill my destiny at 47. It's just, it's a catch-22. Shout out my Aussie family. Mark Wynn, DJ is in the chat. What up? More than welcome to join me, fellas, whenever you get the urge. And it's hard, man. It's hard when you're placing yourself in Boots' shoes. It's hard to be mad at that answer, which brings me down to, of course, these new Teofimo Lopez talks. All right, now it's always been talks about Teofimo Lopez moving up. In my opinion, there's plenty of work for the lineal champion at 140 pounds. I would love to see Teofimo mix it up with a lot of guys there. When you think about Albert Puyo, when you think about Gary Antoine, when you think about Subriel Matias, when you think about Pitbull Cruz, when you think, man, listen, it's so many names at 40 that I would love to see Teofimo Lopez mix it up with. But this is one of those guys who, has that chase greatness bug. And you kind of hate him for it, but you also like him for it. You always going to want somebody to continuously be on that path to greatness and want to fight the best that's out there. Teo catches a lot of flack for a lot of different things. He's not that popular. He's been pushed as hard as you can push somebody on ESPN and Top Rank, and he's still not this huge, massive pay-per-view star. And that has a lot to do with his personality and how he comes across. You think about the racist remarks, or at least that's how you can take a lot of the things that he says. He's just not a very likable fighter at the end of the day. Or make no mistake about it. Let me bring my guy DJ on. Shout out my guy DJ real quick. Let me finish my thought, DJ. Not a very likable guy, but take nothing away from him. The skill set's there. He's proven it. If it wasn't for the politics, this would be a two-time undisputed champion. This is a two-time lineal champion. He is a current WBO champion and lineal champion. The accolades are there. He's a really, really good fighter. He is amongst the best in the business, no matter how you slice the pie. Bottom line, right? Let's keep it all the way funky. So for him to even entertain the thought of moving up to 147 pounds, bring my guy D Calico. Let me finish my thought. I'm gonna introduce you guys in a second. To even entertain the thought of coming up to 147 to fight the likes of a Boots Ennis, in my opinion, that's huge. That's big, right? That's, in my opinion, typical Tio going after the very best that the division has to offer. Now, are there some questionable in-between fights for Teofimo Lopez? Yes, but in my opinion, when you're the lineal champion, when you beat the man that beat the man, or when you beat the man that is the man, you get to have some of those bullshit fights in between, right? And did he look great in some of them? No. But at the end of the day, you can't erase or talk down or slight anything that Teofimo Lopez has been able to accomplish in the sport of boxing, and to move up to actually be in talks with somebody like a Jerron Boots Ennis in a bigger weight class, trying to do it again and do it for the third time. I just think that's remarkable for Teofimo Lopez. Real quick, shout out to the panel. A couple of guys that's joining me, man. My guy DJ from Down Under. What up, DJ?
I'm treading lightly after the absolute pizzling you gave me a couple of days ago after the Barrow fight. Fair play. But,
absolutely. And thank you for joining me, of course, DJ.
There you go. Look, I'm going to come back to the Teofimo. I just want your friend there, D or...
Yeah, D Calico. What up, D Calico, man? Where you from, my brother?
Yeah, I'm from Florida.
Okay, shout out Florida in the building. My man, first time chiming in with your boy, man. What's going on?
Yeah, but I'm a long time subscriber though.
Oh man, I truly appreciate that, D, man. Thank you, man, for rocking out with your boy. And I appreciate you, you know what I mean, getting up here with me, man. Hopefully you do it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I had to get in here and hit the bag,
No doubt. What's on your mind, D? Talk to me.
Man, I really feel like Teofimo will be just blowing smoke, because we didn't hear nothing about, I want Josh Taylor. It just happened.
Right.
We didn't hear nothing about, I want Loma. It just happened. You feel me? And these are his greatest accomplishments. Even his other fights, we never know who he's gonna fight. So when he do all that talking, he never does what he say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of hot wind, and he's gonna fight another nobody. You know what I mean? And it might suffer from it.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a possibility. Let me say this though. If you was paying attention to Teofimo Lopez's career, you would have known who he was calling out. A lot of these guys, like a Lomachenko, he called him out in the ring. Josh Taylor, he called him out in the ring. But to your point, that's just top rank, man. They've had the hardest time pushing and making pay-per-view stars. If you look at their track record, Bob Arum ain't spending but so much money, right? And now even given the accolades of a Teofimo Lopez who has accomplished these things, and right now is in fact a current lineal champion, there's just still not a lot of buzz and a lot of promotion behind him to where he's supposed to be. Like I always feel like, yo, if you the man that beat the man and you got all these accolades, you two-time lineal. Listen, how many people can say that they're two-time lineal champions? Right? That's a very, very small group. And for some reason, Top Rank just has a hard time pushing these guys and making them, you know, these superstars. So I think, you know, that's part of the problem is Top Rank don't know how to really turn these guys into superstars a lot like how PBC has done.
You mean like take the handcuffs off them?
You feel me? You feel me? So and you can't really blame Teofimo Lopez for that.
No, it's the Bob Arum recipe.
There you go.
Well, let me bounce something a little bit different off the pair of you and everyone that's listening. Just quickly, Heavy, tell me the three names that TA seems to be calling out most recently.
Most recently, so of course you got Bud. Who else has he been calling?
Tank.
Yeah, he said Tank name. He said Tank name a couple
times.
Well, not like
everyone. Don't get caught up on Tank. Everyone calls Tank's name out from time to time just for relevance and those sorts of things. So I'm hearing Boots Innes.
Yeah, Boots.
All right. Now there was a little bit of momentary back and forward there between Brian
Norman. Yeah, he said he was open to fighting Brian Norman.
Yep.
Now, just follow me, Tio.
Okay.
What else is happening between Tio and Teofimo and Top Rank right now?
What's happening between him and his promoter?
Yeah. Lawsuit.
Right? Oh yeah. There's some legal issue going on.
Yeah. So how many of those names that he's calling out are somehow actually either in partnership or directly with Riyadh Season / Matchroom? All of them?
All of them, yeah.
That's everybody.
Join the dots.
Oh, well, yeah. Listen, it's a matter of time. T.O.'s had his run at Top Rank, and I think I said this right before I went on my hiatus. T.O. had his run at Top Rank, you know, just like Shakur Stevenson. He had his run. You're only going to get but so big at Top Rank, man. And unfortunately, that's just like my man D Calico said, that's the Bob Arum recipe. You got to give him a ton of credit. He knows how to build a fighter, but he's just not going to put the kind of money behind a fighter to really catapult them into, you know, real superstar pay-per-view status. Bottom line. But DJ, make a great point. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And I would argue also that theory runs true other than Loma.
Yeah, same. And now, if anybody from Top Rank deserved to be like this global crazy superstar, it would have been Lomachenko. Would have been the Matrix for sure.
Well, he was a global star.
Well, with the numbers to support it.
Well,
what's crazy is people don't even realize his very first and only pay-per-view was against Devin Haney.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You would think that
Devin did him a favor.
Loma would be one of the faces of boxing, but he's not, and he never was.
Mm-hmm.
He never was? Come on. Have you been exercising?
Numbers, man.
Look. Come on, Heavy.
When you talk about that like boxing shit, DJ, you talking about numbers, man.
Numbers are the bag. Numbers aren't representative of who knows the name. Don't get the two twisted.
You got to. They're married.
No, you don't. No,
hey, brother, if I could add.
One actually says, I'm prepared to pay to watch the fight. The other one says, I know who exactly he is, but I'm not a boxing fan, so I'm not going to pay for it.
I'm hold that thought, DJ. Go ahead, D.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say how, people always talking smack about casuals, but casuals are the barometer, like they're the ones that, we can measure the success or fame of a person based on the casuals.
Yeah.
Most casuals don't know Loma.
I gotta agree with you there.
And if they do, it took a long time for them to know Loma. They haven't known him for no decade. He's not famous like that, is what I'm saying.
And he's definitely teetering on the point that I'm about to make, DJ. When you're the face, right? And there's only really been 2, maybe 3 guys we've been continuously
who's
accusing
talking now,
of being the
CEO
face.
or RC? Just so I know when you talk about the face.
Say that again.
I just want to know who I'm talking to when you say the face.
Yeah, you talking
CEO
to me
or RC?
No, you talking to me. But there is some things RC says that I completely agree with. And when you're talking about the face of boxing and the guys that we're constantly accusing of being the face of boxing, like a Tank Davis or Canelo Alvarez or even a Tyson Fury, it's all because of the numbers. It's I can put these guys on pay-per-view and they gonna sell because casuals are going to throw a fight party to watch them. Nobody's throwing fight parties or has been throwing fight parties to watch Lomachenko, unless you're more than likely a hardcore fan. That's just the truth of the matter, man. That's why he's only made 1 pay-per-view appearance.
So let's not get bogged down in Lomachenko because we're getting off topic a little bit here. But what I'll say to you, just pushing back on that comment, at what point does a Lomachenko and a Kambosos make financial sense in Australia, right? Over in Perth, right, of all places, the least populated capital city in Australia, at what point does that make financial sense? Whose name is drawing those numbers, and what numbers are you drawing to that fight?
Okay, real quick, let me shout out Boxing Kangaroo, Cornelius Burnett, everybody, man. It's good to be back. Good to see you. Shout out Shadow Band. And to answer your question, anytime right now, because at this point you got 2 guys that's, let's keep it honest, extremely irrelevant. Even though Loma, I believe, even has a title, right? He has one of the titles.
Mm-hmm. IBF, I think.
Maybe the IBF.
I think Kambosos,
former unified
off the back of who was it? Maxie Hughes. So look,
but I don't believe that purse or that fight warrants a huge payday. I guess it depends on how many people are going to show up to continuously support the fallen warrior in George Kambosos, because it would have to happen in Australia for them to even make $1. So
garner anything,
yeah.
So the point I guess, and we've got sidetracked a little bit here because we were talking about top rank making superstars, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna argue with you, or not argue, debate with you that the pay-per-views don't represent the international awareness, right? And it's changed significantly over the last 2-3 years, where apps, DAZN apps, Netflix apps, Prime Video apps, ESPN's the worst because you've got to sign your life away to VPNs and all those sorts of things, where because it's not broadcast in their countries regularly, right, doesn't mean casuals and hardcores alike aren't aware. And I would use Inoue as the same example, right? Just because Inoue is not fighting in Australia or US doesn't mean that the boxing community worldwide aren't fully aware of him. The difference is being aware isn't the motivation to go and actually commit to the pay-per-view, so to speak, if it's too expensive or the whole card's not there. Now, coming all the way back, right, to Teofimo, right, his best interests are to actually, while he's working through the stuff with Bob and Top Rank, is to actually make an alliance with someone across the road. Whether it's across the pond or across the road, it's Matchroom or it's I don't think there's who's got El Rayo at 140. Is that Oscar?
No, that's the PBC too. Yeah, I believe Rayo's with the PBC, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? No.
Yeah, I think that's why they went on and made the Rayo versus Pitbull.
Pitbull, yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I guess what you're not hearing is T.O. calling out anyone else within Top Rank in that stable.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It makes a lot of sense for Teofimo Lopez to favor these matchups given to him by Eddie Hearn or Turkey or whoever else.
And then
he's contemplating on signing with, for sure.
Let me double down on the same concept. And what you're hearing, T.O., Heavy, is your own fault. What you, Nine, Punch, and Slick dragged me through over the last 12, 18 months of boxing politics, right? This is now the frame of mind that you're getting back with interest, right?
Yeah, and I can appreciate this. This is where your mind should be.
Yeah. So, what if Tank retiring is the only way out of his contract with PBC?
That's you know what? That's a crazy perspective, bro.
Hey, that's like, I guess he the Barry Sanders of boxing.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Like never truly won a championship or anything, but down
Barry never came back.
Yeah,
Barry never came back. And if this is some way for Tank to get out of that PBC contract at 30 years old, then you would have to think that he would want to fight again. But I guess it depends on the language of the contract. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I think he's what people say about Terrence Crawford. He has all this money and all these investments. He don't need boxing. I think that's Tank Davis.
Yeah.
Quiet as kept.
Oh, we know he's not there for legacy. The fans are the selfish one that want him to fight for legacy because they get the best fights.
Yeah.
But I've had this conversation the last couple of weeks and saying, well, hang on a minute. Sometimes it's okay to earn generational wealth and not care about legacy. Not every boxer, and I can give you the numbers, 17 divisions, 15 people in each sanctioning body, 16 if you include the champion, 1,088 ranked boxers across all 17 divisions, and I can promise you maybe 5, maybe 6 of those are in it for legacy. Everyone else is just in it for money.
This is how I feel about any fighter who doesn't give a shit about legacy. Fuck them fighters, because I want to see the best fighting the best, and to me, you're raping the sport. You're stealing from the fans and you're raping the sport.
You can't say that on YouTube.
A heavy bag. Like, what's your take on tune-ups, on tune-up fights?
They're very necessary. Yeah, in my opinion.
But the Devin Haney's have never taken tune-ups. The Errol Spences have never taken tune-ups, and people like Boots have never fought anybody that wasn't a tune-up.
Yeah. And I guess given the situation, like if I'm Devin Haney coming off, of course, this Ryan beaten, I'm not mad at him if he wanted to do a tune-up.
Wasn't a beat.
Errol Spence, I've been out of the ring for over 400 days now, coming off a huge beating. I'm not mad at a tune-up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's my opinion on tune-ups. I think, in my opinion, and watching the sport now for almost 30 years, I think they're very necessary. Now, there are exceptions where you got guys who prefer not to, but in my opinion, I think they're very necessary.
Circumstantial, I would say.
Yeah. I'm gonna say like how many is too many?
Now there can be like you about to say circumstances. There could be too many. That's been the case.
Like what percentage of fights should be like chasing legacy? Like what percentage of You know, a boxer's
depending on where you at in your career,
30 fights, 40 fights.
When you become established, or you get an opportunity to win a world championship and you win the title, at that point in your career, you should be trying to fight the complete best, because what you have done is proven to yourself, like, hey, I belong here. Right? I've accomplished this, and I'm at the peak of, you know, or the very best version of myself that I could more than likely be. So coming off a tough fight, a tune-up could be necessary, but then you right back in there with the next dog, or you're trying to unify. You know what I mean? Like, I just believe tune-ups are for long layoffs or coming off really, really tough fights.
Yep.
In my opinion.
I don't disagree with that. The problem is that the legacy is polar opposite and contradictory to financial earnings, because the rankings and the sanctioning bodies don't always ensure that the biggest top dog is wearing their belt. So you can go through multiple divisions and you can have a unification fight that's going to earn both of those world title or both of those champions less money than if they were to actually work with a different promoter, particularly Riyadh Season or something like that. So what you're doing is you're giving them up 50% of your generational wealth for your kids or your family or yourself, just chasing on paper legacy. And this is where the fundamental flaw is. The fundamental flaw is that when the dollars are based off pay-per-view numbers and head count, we'll call it, that doesn't lend itself to encouraging champions to fight each other. You've only got to look at 147, right? Who's at 147? You got Barrios and Stanionis.
And then you got Brian Norman.
I got Boots.
Yeah. But the Barrios and Stanionis, if they were going for legacy and wanted to unify, that's actually got nothing to do with the biggest bag that they could get with a Boots Ennis or a Brian Norman. That's more about, on paper, I've beat the best of the best. So they've got to balance it.
No, they're not the best of the best.
You know,
well, the scrap around their waist say they the best of the best at that division right now. So we always got to give them a little bit of credit.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely at the top. But what I'm saying is, like, are they the top two champions? Because Stanionis definitely has a good name for itself.
That's that. Yes, to be remain to be seen. That's why I always say they need to have a tournament. Once those titles are in 4 different hands, it needs to be a tournament right then. Knock that shit out, man. Let's get an undisputed champion. As soon as those belts are dispersed and you have 4 different champions, them motherfuckers need to be fighting each other. Stanionis need to be fighting one of the other 3 next. The same goes for Brian Norman, Boots, and Barrios, in my opinion.
But you're still asking for a wish list that actually hasn't happened for 2 decades. The want and the need to fight the best. Yes, it's happened a few times along the way, right? Out of convenience or otherwise. But the reality is now that there's not the draw on those belts anymore, because they don't carry equal influence when it comes to the bag and legacy. What it does is it just carries which promoter wants to pay enough money to put their mandatory up the rankings. Don't get me started on fucking Errol Spence getting into the rankings at the WBO. Let's not go down that track. But you see where I'm getting at. Exactly. So, that was to protect Fondora. That wasn't to elevate Errol Spence.
Right. Yeah. And
it was to block Bud. So anyway,
and Bud don't want to get active like that. Like Bud only fight.
I reckon he would if he got a sniff. I reckon he would if he got a sniff.
Bro, you would have thought he lost his fights. He be taking such a long layoff.
In Bud defense, it's been hard to get them. Been hard to get them names, man. Bud is 36 years old, and we got to understand he's just not gonna jump in the ring with anybody. Real quick, guys, let me holla at the chat real quick. Shout out Boxing Kangaroo. He says Sugar Ray Leonard had 3 years off with a detached retina, and his tune-up was Hagler. Gosh almighty, boy. Listen, Boxing Kangaroo, they do not make them like they used to. Let's keep it all the way funky. I think the closest to that, though, is Errol Spence, who did have the detached retina and came back and fought Bud Crawford. So shout out to Errol
Spence.
Spence.
Or did he just get beat up by him?
No matter of fact, what's the British fighter that fought Errol?
Kell Brook.
Yeah, Kell Brook. You got to give him credit because he
got to give him some credit too.
Yeah, he fought Errol Spence coming off of that injury.
Yeah. I think he might have had a tune-up though between the Errol Spence and the Bud fight too.
Yeah.
I got Mike Saunders in the building. My man Mike Saunders. What's up, boy? It's been a minute. Said tune-ups showcase fights and prospects fighting low-level journeymen are all different types of fights for different reasons, in my opinion. For sure, man. That's facts. And that's basically what I was getting at.
In this right now, in this environment, the perfect reason for a tune-up would be Jamel, not Maul, Jamel Charlo having a tune-up if he came out and then enacted his champion and recess against Bud. For him to not fight at 154 for 3 years come March next year and jump in the ring with Bud, that's just a suicide mission. I don't care how brave you think you are. So there is a place and a time for it, I think. But tune-ups can be used to delay or avert mandatories. That's the thing that pisses me off.
Yeah. Now they could be used as a weapon for sure. But real quick, let me get back on track here. I was starting out with, of course, the Boots in his Teofimo fight, right? That's where I started at, and I want to kind of harp on that and put that to bed. While I got both of you guys on the panel, I got a couple of questions for you. Now, I, for one, I like the Boots Teofimo fight. I love the fact that Teofimo would be willing to move up to 47 to fight him. I did want to ask you guys about the Virgil Ortiz situation and what Boots actually had to say about that. I don't know if you guys heard me play the video. Did you hear me play the Boots video?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay, let me play that one more time, and then we're gonna let me bring in the Boxing Kangaroo. Shout out my guy Boxing Kangaroo. Real quick, Boxing Kangaroo, before you give your thoughts, I'm gonna play this audio, and this is Boots in his excuse for not fighting Virgil Ortiz for actually turning down the Virgil Ortiz fight.
Ron and his plans for his next bout, because the world wants to know.
2025 for my next bout, unification.
And that's all you want?
That's all I want, unification. You know, I like I said before, I gotta get my hands, you know, on one of those belts, you know, and I gotta get that feeling of taking a belt from somebody. And I have, like I said, I have yet to feel that feeling yet, and I feel like that's what I need for my career and my legacy. Like, I need to feel that feeling of taking that belt from somebody, and I feel like that stamp myself. Like for me, I feel better about myself, you know, at 147.
All right, that was Boots' excuse for not fighting Virgil Ortiz. He feels like, hey, I'm thinking about legacy, right? I heard him in a separate interview where he said he was getting called the email champ, which we did. We had that same energy for Devin Haney. We had to have it for Boots as well. So this is something unlike a Tank Davis or maybe some other fighters who are in it just for the bag. He's actually thinking about legacy. I'm gonna start with you, D, and Kangaroo. I'm gonna come to you next. D, what do you think? What's your thoughts on Boots turning down the Virgil Ortiz fight and giving you the excuse that he's thinking about his own legacy and wanting to actually take a belt from one of these other 47 guys?
It seems like he don't really have the plan. Like, maybe he has the plan now, but this is the type of thing you should have known for 5 years. You know what I mean? You Boots Simmons. Like you should have had your plans written out and you should have stuck to them. But it seemed like he's like he's all over the place.
So you don't think he's trying to stick to his plans now by saying, "Hey, I'm gonna just stay at 47 and go after those belts"?
I would guess that's his original plan, and now he's sticking back to it. But he should have never wavered. He should have never let Crawford or Eddie Hearn or any other person persuade him to talk otherwise.
All right. Yeah, because in those in-ring interviews after the Shaka fight and the Avenetian fight, he was talking about moving to 54. Boxing Kangaroo, man, appreciate you joining us, big dog. What's up, man?
What's happening, fellas? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, hear you just fine, bro.
Yep.
Thoughts on Boots Ennis and this recording I just played for you. His excuse for fighting Virgil Ortiz. What you think?
Heavy bag, if it quacks like a fucking duck, it's a fucking duck. Plain and simple, mate. Plain and simple. He didn't want none of that smoke with Virgil.
I can dig it. DJ, bring us home on this particular situation. Thoughts?
To try and be consistent so a couple of things here. Boots fighting Virgil does neither one of them any favors, right? It's just a litmus test or dipping your toes in the water to see who's interested at 54. And I'll tell you why I think this way. Virgil's currently the WBC interim at 154, right? Bud wants, not Virgil, but Bud wants that belt to offset any brick wall that PBC might be putting up against him. Right? Now, that's the 54 piece. And I wouldn't advise Boots to go to 154 and fight Virgil after his last outing. If he allows himself to get hit as often from Virgil at 154 like he did in his last fight, it's not going to be a pleasant night for him. Second of all, I still have the opinion that Boots is a little bit frozen out by way of promoters at 147. I think that the Brian Norman Jr. stuff that unfolded might have put a rash on Bob Arum's ass, and Bob Arum's not real keen to help. Might not be keen to help Brian Norman Jr. get in the ring with Eddie and Matchroom and Boots Ennis. Now, when you go across the other side of the others two, Barrios and Stanionis, why the hell would PBC have a fight and potentially give up a belt outside of the in-house fight that can be Stanionis and Barrios? So Boots has found himself potentially, the way I'm looking at it, in a very unique spot, right? If he goes and fights Virgil and gets beat, he's no closer to Bud. Bud only wants the interim WBC so that he can position himself on the chessboard to try and offset any gains that PBC might be making to block him from unifying or being undisputed. So I think it was never a real match. If you have a look at what Bobuchak and Madrimov are doing, if we reverse back 3-4 months, many have got Bobuchak beaten Virgil on that night. Some, to a lesser degree, think that Madrimov absolutely held his ground. Maybe by points, might have pipped Bud. Now, let's not get into that. So, if Bud's going to fight at 154 again, you've got to make it mean something to him, either financially or by way of chess moves. Right? Same reason that Virgil's not fighting Bud on February 22nd, right? Because Virgil hasn't convinced the population, casuals or hardcores otherwise, that he's got a chance. Now, if he does fight Madrimov and wins that, what's the promotion looks like? It looks like, oh, well, I hate the triangle theory, but it looks like, oh, well, Virgil beat Bobuchak, Virgil beat Madrimov, and now he's a strong contender to go and fight Bud, prop up the bag. And really, Bud's got no interest in Virgil, the person. He's only got interest in the WBC interim at 154. So that's how I unpack it. And as for T.O. fighting Boots, I still don't think it does either of them any other favours other than just making a fight and getting paid. Because Tio's not going to last at 147.
That brings me to my next question. And real quick, let me shout out Mike Saunders in the chat. He says, listen, Boots ducked Ortiz, and he sounds a lot like you, Boxing Kangaroo. Real simple and easy. He says, I'm genuinely surprised when people mention Boots getting touched in his last fight. Boots always gets touched. That's why I've always said he was overrated. Now, I've been hearing that a lot about Boots lately, and there is some truth to it. Outside of the Roy Manvilla, which he did manage to get a few good licks in on Boots, that was probably the most clean fight I've seen Boots in. Other than that, I have seen him get touched up. But Boxing Kangaroo, I want to go to you, man. I know you came on. You probably had something on your mind. Did you want to get to it real quick?
Mate, I just want to jump in. I just want to chime in on what DJ was saying about Bud. Mate, I don't think Bud's interested in anything except Canelo. I think that's all Bud wants is that big money fight. And he's punching his ticket, man. Bud's got one foot out the door, and I think he's ready to, have the sayonara fight with Canelo. I think that's it. I think that's all she wrote.
Absolutely. For Bud Crawford, the investigation is over. It's a wrap. Bud is only fighting for major bags against major opponents.
I don't see him getting undisputed. I don't see him going undisputed at 50.
Yeah,
Too much
absolutely.
I can't wait to see his next fight. Just so we can
and we know what it's going to be. It's going to be some sort of unification or a fight that gets him closer to undisputed or Canelo Alvarez.
See, I can't argue with any of that. Bud will take the bag with Canelo, and Turkey's got a hard on for
Ron in his plans for his next.
I only just posted in the group chat an hour and a half ago where Turkey's overseas. They announced the whole WBC Grand Prix, they call it. 124 or 128 prospect fighters across featherweight, lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight next year. And in amongst all of that, let's have that discussion a different day. Klitschko coming out of retirement in the heavyweight space and calling out Canelo again. So I agree with you, Kangaroo. Like the preference is Canelo, but if he's not completely done and he can get a couple of little bags along the way at 154, I think he'd take it, particularly with Turkey throwing in an extra 10, 20, 30%. Of that Riyadh money.
Yeah,
I'm not thirsty for that fight. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For what, T.O. Boots?
Canelo
and Bud.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you, bro. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But I really don't want to see Bud go up there. I don't.
Against nobody in that weight division.
Yeah, well, he's not going to fight. The only person he would fight in that division is Canelo, bottom line. Yeah. Brings me to my next question for you guys, man. So, actual talks between, of course, Boots and Teofimo Lopez. I wanted to know, what kind of shot are you giving Teofimo Lopez in this Boots fight? Again, from what I told you guys starting this conversation, the accolades of Teofimo Lopez, two-time lineal champion. You got somebody like a Boots who hasn't even taken a world title from anybody. So a lot of championship experience that Teofimo Lopez has. I'll start with you, Boxing Kangaroo. What kind of shot are you giving the 140-pound lineal champion Teofimo Lopez versus a Jaron Boots Ennis?
Well, I just want to go back to the Boots statement that he made about collecting all the belts at 47. So what's the idea of fighting Tio then? He kind of a walking contradiction if he makes that fight, because he wants to unify and he wants to get all the belts at 47. So
they haven't been successful in getting one of these other champions in the ring. And as far as I know now, Brian Norman has a fight, Stanionis has a fight, and Barrios just fought. So.
Well, he's not going to get Barrios because he's on the PBC, and you know how the PBC play the side of the street bullshit. So he'll never get that fight. That can't scrub that. That'll never happen. It doesn't make sense to me, Tio fighting Boots. To me, Tio's just a fucking big mouth. I think he just chases clout. I've got questions over both his wins over Josh Taylor and over Lomachenko. I mean, Lomachenko was one-armed in that fight, and blind Freddie on a bright day could see that fight was, Loma didn't even get into gear until the 8th, 9th round. So I've got questions. And Josh Taylor, I think Josh Taylor was absolutely cooked at 40 by the time he got there. I think the party life got too much for Josh. I think Catterall gave him all he could get.
Yep.
So no credit for so let me get this understood, Boxing Kangaroo. You're giving no credit to Teofimo Lopez. That skill set is just regular.
Look, it is what it is. It's I get the lineal. I get those guys collected the belts and he took the belts off them. That I get the lineal bullshit, but there's just question marks for me, mate, with Tio.
So not much of a chance versus Boots.
I think Boots will school him. I think Boots will knock him out. I hope Boots knocks him out.
I can dig it.
I can't stand the guy. This is an absolute block.
Hey, see, that's the point I was making. I don't know if you guys were hearing me rant. That's just how the consensus is or feels about Teofimo Lopez. He's just not a likable fighter to have accomplished what he's accomplished and not be somewhat close to being a pay-per-view star and having people like a Keyshawn Davis now surpassing you and selling out arenas. It's remarkable. D Calico, my guy, your thoughts, man. Do you give Teofimo Lopez a shot in hell at beating Boots?
See, Teofimo has learned from what Liam Poirot just tried this weekend, right? And the only way he can win is to buy 2 judges. Do not buy one like Liam Poirot did. Like Liam Poirot only bought.
Now that's diabolical.
Hang on. Just back it up a little bit here.
Shout out my guy D. Say you got to buy 2 judges.
That's crazy.
And that's just to get
D. I'm sorry, that was funny.
and that's just to get a split decision.
Gosh, almighty. So D, just so we clear, you ain't giving Teofimo much chance of beating Boots.
Nah, man.
You need judges. Judges need to be bought.
And he been talking shit, ish about black people.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think Boots would take it out on him. It'd be like him crucifying himself.
Absolutely. I can dig it. DJ, your thoughts, man. You giving Teofimo a shot in hell versus Boots Ennis? Or does the championship experience he got and the skill set he got, does it fare against him?
Well, I guess that depends on how many judges you buy, right? Listen, I've been pretty 10 toes down about this the whole time, Heavy Bag. I don't think that people should be division shopping while there's plenty of food on the table in their own division. So once you clean out the top dogs at 140, then you earn the right to say there's nothing left and then go up. But the problem I've got with that is, in any way, shape or form, is it doesn't tell us anything about Boots. Even if Boots actually just washes him, knocks him out, just wipes the floor on him, you know what you're going to hear, right? So there's just no credibility in either of it. So,
but still, we just said if they actually fought, what do you think? What do you think happens?
Well, give me which TO do we get? Do we get AB or C?
We get the best version of both. We get the best version of both. That made it a little tough for you.
Is that the duo I still got it? Is that the duo I still got it, Tio?
No, that's definitely not the do I still got it, Tio. This is the I'm special on the best night of my life versus Loma, Tio.
At 147 with no rehydration clause, Boots beats him.
Boots beat him. There will be, though, a hydration clause because the IBF will be on the line, and they got the automatic 10-pound So I think that probably favors Teofimo Lopez.
How does it?
Because
you're talking
Boots
about now 17
would be
pounds.
the bigger man.
So if he's at 140 and he goes to 147 plus 10, that's 17 pounds.
No, I'm just saying you can't rehydrate above those 10 pounds. So with
I get that.
Teofimo Lopez being a smaller man, more than likely that benefits him that Boots can't get but so big.
Well, let me ask you the question another way.
You gotta answer my question first, man.
I did. I told you the Boots beats him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Give me an example where Teo's fought someone at Boots' height and won convincingly.
And won convincingly? Oh, I can't. Yeah, and won convincingly. I can't, bro. I can't think of
So now you got height and weight.
Yeah. Off the top, no, I can't. Who's the guy? He fought before his. I want to say, what's it? It's last Jermaine Ortiz, if I'm not mistaken. But extremely tough, but wasn't convincing to me. Hold on. Oh man, what is this? This is the Down Under takeover, man. Let's bring my next Aussie to the stage, man. One of the very first I met. My guy Mark Wynn. What up, Mark?
Oh, he's got his shirt off. He's ready for business.
He's fucking shirtless and ready to go.
Oh man, it's fucking hot as hell here today, man.
What up,
fucking
Mark?
38 degrees. Fuck me.
Oh man.
Just knocked off work.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you
God.
could join me, brother. I appreciate you being
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I saw you were on and I thought, far out. I thought Teo was dead.
What part of the conversation did you hear last, man? And what was your input?
I didn't realize. What are you talking about? Rehydration clause on Teo or something, wasn't it?
Well, the mandatory IBF rehydration clause, which I believe all of the sanctioning bodies should have, by the way.
Yeah, I think so too. But they don't.
I think Saturday weigh-ins, mate, personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that neither, Boxing Kangaroo. Absolutely. For sure.
Rid of this weight bullshit.
Yeah, they're going to do something to stop these people like Haney fighting down at 135, you know?
Yeah,
they're going to do something to cut that out.
And real quick, Mark, let me ask you, Boots Ennis, Teofimo Lopez, of course, in talks. If this fight actually fucking happens, you giving Teofimo a shot, given the experience, the championship experience, two-time lineal, you giving him a shot in hell versus Boots at 47?
Yeah, I've never really thought about this fight, to be honest. I don't know. I think I'd take Boots, I think.
Okay, yeah. And for
I don't think he'd knock Teo out, but I think Boots will win.
Yeah. I think if anybody gets knocked out, it would be Teofimo Lopez. But I agree with you. Maybe he doesn't get out of there. Oh yeah, for sure. D, I'm gonna get there for sure. Real quick, I wanted to recap this weekend, and then we're gonna definitely get into that talk. D. Navarrete, Oscar Valdez. Not sure if you guys watched that fight, and of course, Liam Pottle and Richardson Hitchens. Definitely want to start with the down under guy first. Paro looked great in the early rounds of that fight, 1 through 3, in my opinion. And then you had Hitchens able to kind of take over, worked up a lather, got into a rhythm, blinding jab, right hand that Paro just couldn't seem to get a beat on, and kind of coasted to a victory there. D, Calico, did you actually get to catch that fight, bro?
Oh, definitely.
What was your thoughts?
I mean, like you say, he was doing so well.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know why he didn't, but even coming into the fight, he should have automatically. Anytime you find a guy, that's definitely faster than you, more elusive than you, it's like a guy being younger and you're older. It's almost like that, even though they don't. It's not an age difference. What I'm getting at is he should have been dedicated to the body. He never dedicated himself to attacking the body of Richard Hitchens.
Right, facts. Boy, you know something, boy. Gosh,
like if he would have added that to the repertoire, he'll still have his belt.
Yeah.
Because like you say, the first round, the first 3 rounds, almost 4 rounds, like he was doing what it takes, but he got figured out, and he didn't add anything else. He didn't have anything else to bring to the table.
Yeah, and he got figured out pretty fast, man. Yeah. Real quick, shout out my guy R-fucking C. The Menace, the bad boy of boxing. He's in the chat. He said T.O. beat Josh Taylor, same height as Boots. Oh man, damn, you right. And he beat Josh Taylor's ass convincingly. Yeah, I think Josh Taylor is right there with Boots. So good pickup, Rob. That's why I take so many boxing minds. All right, Boxing Kangaroo, man. Your boy Liam Pyro. I do remember being on the live with you on Punch Talks live, and I was giving you the reasons why I thought Hitchens would win, and you were giving me the reasons you thought Pyro would win. What'd you come up with?
Well, I got a heap of fucking egg thrown in my face tonight. I mean, he looked good early. He was slipping that jab. His head, he was staying out of range. He was countering him beautifully. And then it just all went to shit. He wasn't listening to his corner. I don't think he had a plan outside of, just trying to counter that jab. And once, I can't say a bad thing about Hitchens, man. He just did the basics absolutely beautiful. He jabbed his absolute face off. And, mate, I had shades of Devin Haney and Cambosis, like, in that fight, man, after I thought he was in it up until the 5th round, and then from then on in, man, it was all Richardson Hitchens.
Yeah, big facts.
Yeah, I was listening to his corner work, Alfie DiCarlo, and he just wasn't taking anything he said. Like he was saying to him, even in 10, 11, 12, he's like, you got to get inside, mate. You got to get inside. He just couldn't get inside him. He just kept getting counted and busted his nose, and I don't think he was breathing right. I think once he busted that nose, man.
Yeah, he busted that nose. And the biggest problem was every time he tried to duck and kind of burst inside, the right hand was right there ready to meet him. He was timing him every time with the left hand. The jab was blinding, but the right hand was the timing for him coming inside. Mark Wynn, your thoughts on the fight? I don't know if you watched that particular live, but I was the only one on the panel to pick Richardson Hitchens to win. Thought I'd just throw that out there. But what was your thoughts on the fight?
I didn't watch it. Me and the missus had to go down to a 5-hour drive to some family bullshit Christmas crap on the weekend, and then 5-hour drive home on Sunday. So but I listened to it in the car on the way home. Listened to Slick and Punch call it. Okay. And I watched some highlights since I've been home. I don't know, Paro. He fought different, I reckon, than he did in that last fight against what was that bloke's name?
Real Matias.
Yeah, Sabril. Yeah. Paro looked like the local crackhead fucking shadow boxing down the fucking street in this fucking last fight. You know what I mean? It was all herky-jerky, a bit like Madrimov against Bud, you know what I mean? And as soon as, it seemed to me, and just watching the highlights, as soon as Hitchens figured out his rhythm or whatever the fuck he was doing, that was it. He figured him out and then just washed him from there on. But, it was disappointing. I thought Paro was going to be going to be around for a while to hold that belt, but obviously not.
Yeah, I gotta hit you with one of the most cliche phrases in boxing, and that is styles make fights. And given Richardson Hitchens' style,
hey, give heavier rest, mate. His burden's big enough because he's right 99% of the time. The man's carrying the world on his shoulders here.
Hey, listen, I'm glad you at least give me a little bit of flowers, man, because a lot of people don't want to admit how right I be, man. So thank you.
I said on that video, you even called it by split decision.
Yeah,
One of them,
he did. Yeah, he did.
one of them judges was paid off.
I knew it.
Fuck
I knew
yeah.
it. Yeah, and I felt like the card would be bullshit too. I thought that the judge's card would be bullshit, and it was.
How the fuck did he get 117, 111, and the rest of them was 16, 12? Fuck, mate.
Fucking embarrassing, man. Fucking.
He needs to be sacked. That bloke.
Yeah, but it happens every time, bro. It happens every time.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
You know, I can rattle off a heap of judges that have, that Dave Sutherland, he's won.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a few of them
that are corrupt.
All those judges from Cambosis and Hughes fight, they should be fucking sacked.
Oh man, God, I still think about that fight, man. And Maxie, if anybody deserved it, it was Maxie, man. He had his little IBO belt. He deserved to keep that shit.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was
terrible.
Like I'm starting to notice. I'm starting to notice that the Australian boxers struggle with IQ. Like they're not worried about somebody that's physically gifted. You know, the same way Cambosis went in. You know, Cambosis went in.
I think that works with the white fellas, D. Calico, but you get this Jai Opetaia, man. I think I've been saying for years, he is the best Australian boxer, bar none. And he can box and move, and you know, he'll eventually go up to heavyweight, and I think Jai Opetaia will be a champion for a very long time.
Yeah.
I don't think I think he's got the IQ to.
The jury's still out on Opetaia, but to me, he definitely has the best potential.
FBI, open up!
D, I wanted you to finish that thought.
Yes, most definitely, because you know that I'm saying how these Australian boxers are like they don't fear athleticism.
Yeah,
you feel me? So that's why Cambosis was able to beat Lopez, you know, and that's the reason Paro was able to win in Puerto Rico, you know, against the real boogeyman.
Facts.
You know, so for some reason they don't fear the toughest opponent, but the IQ is what can separate them, you know, from victory. Because you know, Devin Haney. Or maybe it's just the Devin Haney style, because you know Hitchens is basically imitating a Devin Haney style, you know, and that style is it might become real popular because it's working.
Hey man, boxing has been popular, man. It's just a pure boxing style, especially when you got to think he's only got 7 knockouts. When you don't have a ton of power, you know, you got to rely on speed. And that was my breakdown. If anybody saw my breakdown on my channel in that fight, I just thought it would come down to the hand speed. And of course it was the timing with the right hand, but it was just that blinding fucking jab.
Oh my God.
And he just couldn't, and it wasn't like he was, you know, he beat up one of the eyes and he just couldn't see the jab coming because it was just that fast. So it was just a dramatic difference in hand speed for me.
Now, I've heard enough of this shit. Can we talk about Valdez and Navarrete?
Yeah. It's real.
I'm sorry, man. I hate to be pouring more salt in that wound. My bad, man. God damn.
Hey, it's a lot of options.
You spent a whole hour on him.
I did. Listen. We just recapping here. I'm sorry.
Recap.
That's what I was going to say. DJ's in the corner, crawled up in the fucking fetal position.
Hey, they say you're not recapping, you decapitating.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot how many Aussies we got on the panel right now. All right, moving on. Navarrete, Oscar Valdez. Now, I knew that this was going to be the most exciting fight of the evening, and it was. It didn't disappoint, in my opinion. I loved every aspect of it. But I want to ask you guys, man, who'd you have coming in? Because I didn't get any predictions. And how'd you see that fight going? And where do you see Valdez going from here? I'll start with you, DJ.
I actually didn't do a lot of homework on it because I was actually single focused on the Paro fight. And look, I'll admit it. That's where my appetite, my focus was. Look, I've watched a little bit of the highlights there. I haven't formed an opinion. at all. So I'm probably not in the best place to actually swing the pendulum one way or another. I'm happy to take that for a little bit of homework and come back. But
okay,
did he quit?
No, he just got his ass whooped. He got his ass whooped. He didn't quit, man.
Is this,
got the shit
is this
beat
the
out of him.
same? Is this the same Navarrete that beat Liam Wilson from Australia?
Yeah, and Valdez beat Wilson too.
Yeah, both of them did. Yep.
So you're still doing it, Heavy. You're still doing it.
Guilty, man. I'm guilty. What'd you think, Mark? Did you catch that fight?
Well, again, I was in the car driving home,
okay,
so I listened to. Didn't that ended fucking early? Didn't the bloke suck it up with the eye or something?
Round
6 rounds.
Yeah. Is that the one where the bloke just turned his back and put his hand up and something about his eye, or was that the fight before that?
Nah,
that was the main event. Yeah, that was the fight after.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, and me and the missus were talking during that stuff, so yeah, I didn't really pay much attention to it. We were trapped in the car together, so I had to talk to her.
Oh shit! Yeah, you ain't had no choice. D, were you able to catch that one?
Yeah, most definitely. And I just wanted to, hit a sidebar. Is fact, as far as Navarrete goes, like, at least to me, like that's my idea of what a Mexican brother look like. But just be honest, because when I see Canelo Alvarez, I see an Irish man. You know what I mean?
I do. It's fact.
But
big
Navarrete is he's almost a picture perfect Mexican. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Big facts.
Hey, I'm talking about no 6-pack, no traps up here in the shoulders.
Straight dad bod.
Hey, I'm just straight dad bod.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, but he coming straight forward. You know what I mean? He bringing a real Mexican style and the Mexican heart. Like they outwork anybody.
Yeah.
Huh? You have and one thing about them, another one of their superpowers is their chin.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Take a
that's
shot.
That's the only reason we know Canelo is Mexican, because he has a hell of a chin.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can knock out a Mexican, everybody's scared of you. You know what I mean? So I don't see Navarrete get knocked out no time soon. And only guys like Tank Davis are the super threats. These are super threats. When you knock out a Mexican, you go in a Hall of Fame of power. I don't care what nobody says.
Yep. Well, I'm loving these takes tonight, man. These takes
and real quick, because people love to talk bad about Devin Haney, but we got to give him credit. The man's whole amateur career was in Mexico.
Yeah,
he fought nothing but those tough SOBs,
and I think he knocked out 13 of them. So shout out to Devin.
13 out of 200.
13 taxi drivers and taco makers, maybe.
Maybe, right.
Can I give you my two, Bob, on this heavy bag? I watched the fight. I thought Valdez was on a bit of a renaissance mission where he was sort of coming back a bit, and I sort of thought he had a bit of a chance. But mate, I'll tell you something about that Navarrete, that El Vaquero. That guy is just amazingly awkward. His style is so hard to replicate. Like, to get sparring partners for Navarrete must be near on impossible, man. How he can dance in and out and jump up and down and throw that uppercut, man. That uppercut of his is blinding. And that's what he caught. That's what he caught him with. And it was the uppercut that stopped the fight. And man, I like Navarrete. I think he's going to be a champion for a while. Really hard style to work out. I don't even know if a slick kind of boxer could deal with him. He's just so awkward, and his footwork is like it's really strange. I've never seen any guy sort of fight like him.
Man, you are absolutely right, Kangaroo man. Extremely awkward. You kind of never know where the right hand's coming from. You never know where the uppercut's coming from. There's not a lot of fundamentals in his footwork at all. But to me, he's food for a real fighter or a real boxer. I keep hearing about maybe O'Shaquie falls to next, and I think that would be kryptonite for Navarrete. He maybe even gets knocked out, only because he's just not fundamentally sound when it comes to anything. To be honest, when you look at just how wild he is, when you look at some of those shots, you kind of say to yourself, how the fuck is he getting away with looking like you're breaking every single rule in the sport of boxing when it comes to fundamentals? So
that power, heavy bag, that power he's got, man. Like
the power's there.
He's got legit power. He can knock you out. And you know, I did see him hurt. I did see Liam Wilson wobble him, drop him, but Liam Wilson played with his foot. He couldn't finish the job.
He couldn't. He couldn't finish the job.
And then Navarrete got the better of him. But I don't know. Like, I've seen him hurt. I've seen him face a bit of adversity, and I don't know, man. He's a tough cat. He's definitely lives up to his name as El Vaquero, the cowboy, mate. He's a wild boy from Mexico, and I give him nothing but praise, man. Like with Valdez, man, I think he's got to hang him up.
I agree with you.
Listening to his speech after the fight, man, he trained really hard for that fight. He said, I trained really hard for this fight, and he just had nothing. So
Eddie Reynoso should be embarrassed. Anybody who's coming in here and calling themselves a trainer and them guys are losing in the fashion and in the manner that they're losing in Navarrete, it should be embarrassed, man. No, and the same for Oscar Valdez, in my opinion. You could have fundamentally beat this guy, but you didn't. You relied on the hook all night. That wasn't there, but you continuously threw it. You thought you could come forward against a guy who's awkward, throwing these crazy punches with a high guard. That didn't work. There was no bag of tricks. There was no toolbox to dig into and switch up the game plan. There was no leadership from Eddie Reynoso in that corner to switch it up. And maybe at this point in Oscar Valdez's career, he was just incapable of doing so. But whatever the case is, I think I've seen enough, and I don't see Oscar Valdez beating anybody who would have a scrap at 130 pounds, especially O'Shaquie, which that was a fight I don't know why they was calling for. But Foster versus Navarrete next, I would love to see that, and I think we would see a thorough ass whooping put on Navarrete. But
I'd like to see
great fight.
I'd like to see them fight that slick style, man, because I know it's kryptonite for any white Australian guy. Put it that way. Not so much the Ukrainian guys, but I know any white Australian has no chance against that slick style, bro. None.
Yeah, us white Aussies, we like crash and bash them.
Oh, mate. We just got no answer. I thought Liam Paro would put on a hell of a show, but he just
I thought he'd be better. I thought he'd be better for sure. But
real quick, Kangaroo, DJ says you can give a summary on what we can expect from this weekend's Aussie card.
Is that the Conor Wallace and Hooney?
Don't give me the line, man. I have no idea about Aussie card.
It's a heavyweight title, plus you've got I don't
Brock
know,
Jarvis.
Jazzy Parr on the undercard.
Boxing Kangaroo already said that's a trash card.
It's a trash card.
He said that.
Well,
he said that
I'm
last
in the
week.
States, for everybody watching in the States, if I'm in the States, how do I watch that card?
Mate,
I don't know.
I think you might have to crack stream it.
Yeah, it's on KO here, so but it's free, so.
I'd like to help you, Evie, but I don't need another week worth of chastising. Right? After I can sleep.
Hey, look, I'll tell you one thing. I will tell you one bloke on that card, Conor Wallace, right? He's Irish-born, British-raised, and lives in Australia. This kid, he's a 175-pounder. He's the IBF interim champ. Mate, this kid can crack. Conor Wallace, I'm big on. Justice Hooney, I think he's too pillow-fisted for the heavyweight division. I praise him for knocking out Paul Gallen, but I don't think that guy gives any top dudes in the heavyweight division any problems.
What's the light heavyweight guy's name?
Conor Wallace.
Conor Wallace. Okay.
Yep.
Give me something.
Just while we're in the area, can I ask you all, just to give you feedback, Klitschko coming out of retirement and
I heard.
injecting himself after he got beat by AJ into the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division is just ramped up. Is that bullshit or not?
Turkey bag, turkey bag. He's just chasing the turkey bag. That's all he wants.
Who's he fighting? AJ.
I haven't heard he's fighting anybody yet.
Just remember, Bacoli's in the background that they're actually not pulling the.
Yeah. That's my favorite heavyweight. Hey, that's the most dangerous heavyweight to me, Bacoli.
Bacoli kills him. Bacoli will kill him.
Like, of course, Daniel Dubois and him would be a super fight. But I think by the time that happens, Daniel Dubois will have been through war with so many people like maybe Usyk or Fury that, Bacoli going to kill him.
But how old is Klitschko now?
He hasn't fought since.
It doesn't fucking matter. I don't want to see Klitschko versus none of these motherfuckers, man.
He'd have to be over.
Back where he'd
have to be over
with his
40.
grandchildren.
Thank you, Head.
He'd have to be over 40.
Grandchildren, bro. I don't.
Well,
I
over
don't
40 is not the mark. While
I'm over 50, but I'm not getting in no fucking boxing ring either.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I think Klitschko at this point he can beat Anthony Joshua.
No.
Oh wow.
I think AJ.
He's been on the show for how long? That was his last loss, wasn't it? Anthony Joshua.
Yep.
He retired after that fight, right?
Yep. Yeah, but he was so fresh and strong at that point. Now he's he's beaten up.
Yeah, man. Nobody want to see this old motherfucker come out of retirement and fight none of these. Man, these heavyweights will kill Klitschko.
Hey, the only person I want to see come back is Triple G.
I don't even want to see this old motherfucker come back, man. Fuck him too. Let them old motherfuckers retire, man.
So what about Gary Russell?
Not a lot of tread off the tire. I wouldn't be mad at a Gary Russell fight. No, that's who should be fighting Tank in the DMV if you ask me.
Yeah.
Fuck
but I ain't
Lamont
gonna lie,
Roach.
Frank Roach if y'all saw his last fight, he literally fought a Tank opponent and did what Tank even couldn't do. Not to say
Lamont Roach.
Yeah, the guy Garcia. That's the first Garcia that Tank fought.
Hector Garcia.
Yeah, Hector.
That was Lamont Roach's last fight.
Was that his last? I know he knocked him out. And Garcia had never been knocked out.
Tank stopped him too.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't a normal Tank knockout. It was in the corner.
Yeah, he hit him. Blind. He couldn't see. He hit him. Yeah, he hit him so hard he took his vision.
But Lamont Roach did what Tank normally does, like
to Hector
set him
Garcia
up and knock him damn near through the ropes.
Yeah, but I think his last fight, I can't think of the dude's name because we covered it. It was on Pro Box TV. I forgot. He fought a little Irish motherfucker.
Oh, I'm sure he beat him up.
Because he took the belt from Hector. So, yeah, when he won that belt, he won that belt from Hector Garcia.
Look, people don't understand. This is Frank Martin if he would have got more seasoning. If Frank Martin would have got more seasoning, he would be Lamont Roach. Because this guy has power. Just like
Lamont Roach got one loss, and that came to somebody Shakur Stevenson destroyed, and that was the Marine.
I understand. But I think he's grown like leagues beyond. Like Jamel Herring wouldn't even get in a ring with him now.
I mean, maybe not. But shit, this still ain't, man. Tank finna fuck. This nobody can convince me.
It's like Mark McCauley has a loss on his record. But ever since he changed his style, he don't fight on no back foot. He not boxing. He gained weight. He coming.
So let me hold on. Let me get this straight, D. You advocating for this fight? You think this is a good fight between Lamont Roach and Tank Davis?
Yeah, after further examination, yes. Because Tank, this could be a cherry pick on road. Lamont Roach knows how to survive. He knows how to survive. He knows how to do what Frank Martin could not do. He can make it through these 12 rounds.
There's a possibility.
Just more than likely if anybody survives 12 rounds with Tank, they can probably win. Because you know what I'm saying? Because most times people win a lot of rounds.
If Lamont Roach was a bigger man, I would say yes. But because Tank is bringing him up from 130, there's just nothing to fear. He's not going to be able to hurt Tank, bro. Tank need to be in there with somebody that can fucking hurt him. that
That's
can
nobody.
hit him.
There's nobody at 135. But what I'm saying, he just
Yeah,
has to be
there's
outboxed.
nobody at 130 for sure, bro.
No, definitely not.
That's
Tank
why
not
I'm
going
like,
to get in the ring. Tank not going to get in the ring with someone that can hurt him. T.O.
exactly.
I mean, can you name somebody
Yeah.
like maybe what Navarrete? Would you want Navarrete to come up to 135?
I mean,
No, I want to see Tank
because
fight people at 140. That's the only cats that can hurt him. The only fight I
would
want to
rather
see
him
with
not
Tank
bring
at
nobody up.
135 is Shakur. And if he can't fight Shakur, then
Only
move
like
and fight
two
at
people.
140.
It's only like 2 people at 140 that can hurt him.
Bro, there's only a few people
Fight
I
them
really
two.
want to see Tank fight.
Like Gary Antoine Russell.
Yeah, give me Gary Antoine. Give me
And
Subriel.
what's that Port Subriel? Yeah, Subriel. Them the only
Give
2.
me Subriel. No, I'll do the Pit Bull rematch because that's the only fight I seen Tank, in my opinion, running for his goddamn life. So give me the Pit Bull rematch. And then any of those 40 guys, man. You know, I don't want to see him bring up no 30 guys, man. No 30 guys.
And
That's why I'm opposing this fight.
And I know him and Devin, no matter what people say, skill-wise, that would be an excellent fight. And I feel like it would take
I'll be cool with it, Devin.
It would take 24 rounds for Tank to knock him out. He won't do it. He won't do it in one fight.
What, to knock Devin out?
Yeah, he won't knock him out in one round, in one fight.
You don't think he can get him in 12?
No.
Ooh, you might not. You might be right. I think he can get
it's
him.
like the Navarrete and Valdez type of thing, where, you know, at the end of the fight, you got figured out, but it's too late. You know what I mean? And then in the rematch, you get to bring that same energy and dominate.
Man, looking at what somebody like Ryan Garcia was able to do against Devin, I don't give him much of a chance. I think Tank,
I don't know if that
Tank
ever
knocks this motherfucker out.
I don't think he'll ever fight again. It's gonna be boxing.
He's
gonna box. He's gonna box, and we know when he boxes, he's better than Richard Hitchens. So if Richard Hitchens can showcase some boxing, we know Devin Haney. He's a better boxer than that.
Yeah, he'll be running all night. Shout out my guy Mike Saunders in the chat. Real quick, man. Thank you, Mike. He's been a long time supporter of the channel, man. I truly appreciate you, big dog. And listen, I love this, Mike. I love this. De Los Santos retired? ? Shaking my head. I've been saying that shit, and I've been saying it. Formidable opponent for anybody at 135 pounds. I wish the hell he was fighting De Los Santos instead of Lamont Roach, for sure. Which brings me to my last subject before we get up out of here. Shakur Stevenson and Kid Austin. They signed the dotted line. It's going down. Dean, I think this is something that definitely interests you. You mentioned,
yes, sir.
Give me your thoughts, man. You like this fight?
Man, I love it. You know what I mean? It's 2 people that either put their foot in their mouth or they put their money where their mouth is. You know, either way, I see nothing but heart on display. You know, of course, skills going. You know, skill. Yeah, definitely big heart.
Yeah.
You know, but this might be the most ideal time to fight Shakur. You know, coming off a hand injury. Number one, coming off a hand injury. He's going to need that hand to be stronger than before fighting a guy like Schofield. I don't think pot shotting gonna do it. You know?
Right.
And if his hand is not up to par, one hand would not do it. So he could just, it's any given Sunday. But on top of that, we already know he's the stronger guy. Like when we if people, look at highlights, it's not like that's all that matters. But Kid Austin's highlights could put a little fear in you compared to Shakur. You're not gonna see like, oh man, oh shoot. Like let's just imagine that's your son and they're fighting. You don't want to see your son get done like Kid Austin can do him. But if Shakur do his thing, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna hug your son, you're gonna get to take him home. But Kid Austin might put him on a stretcher.
Yeah, I'm giving Kid Austin that puncher's chance. Not much of a chance outside of that, but because he's young, 22 years old, extremely explosive, and got some heavy hands. I'm giving him a shot for sure. And listen, I'm glad that he poked the bear. People don't understand. They've been asking for this fight. This is a fight that they asked for. Sometimes when you poke the bear, that motherfucker will actually get up and come out the cave. And that's what Shakur did. And also with these fucking prospects that they continuously pushing up the line and putting in the top 5 of the ranking system, make no mistake about it. Kid Austin or Floyd Schofield, he's cracked the top 5 of all the sanctioning body. I think he's number 2 and a couple of them motherfuckers. So, and the same goes with Andy Cruz. Give him a shot. 22 years old. Let's not be, I love it because let's not be afraid of a loss. Even if he loses to Shakur, you can bounce back. You know what I'm saying? A loss, it's a loss, whatever. I'm 22 years old. I got a whole entire career ahead of me to continue to work towards the Hall of Fame or whatever my ambitions are. You know what I'm saying? So I like the fight. Mark, you digging that fight a little bit?
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that the young fella's willing to challenge himself, you know? I'm sick of this fucking bullshit. You know, oh, what has he done? And I'm not fighting him because he's this or he's that, or he hasn't done this, he hasn't beaten this person. Fuck that, all that shit. He's ranked number 2, fucking, and he wants to have a crack. Fucking have into it. And like you said, if he loses, it's not going to be the end of the world. Because I'm pretty sure Shakur won't knock him out. So if he looks semi-competitive and Shakur's got a fair name, it's a tick in a box to me. You know what I mean? As long as he puts up a decent fight.
Yeah.
This is the problem with boxing these days. You know, it's all fucking, no, and I'm fighting him, and you know, what has he done? I mean, Tank's still saying that about fucking Shakur, and Shakur's been unified in multiple divisions, and you know, so I like it. I think it's good. Fucking good on him. Get in there and have a crack.
And can't we agree that
great fucking answer, man?
Like that one of the reasons Ryan did so well against Haney is the familiarity and the fact that he does not fear Haney whatsoever. You know, like he showed that in the ring. He didn't fear him whatsoever, and that could be the exact same thing for Schofield. You know, being that he's familiar with him, and he just does not fear him whatsoever. You know? Like that could play a huge part.
It could, and like I say, he's got some explosiveness and some power on his side. You just never know. And again, it's time. They've been keeping Floyd Schofield active. Every time I turn around, he's fighting. They've done a great job of building him. If you can't get any of the other big time prospects in the ring, this is what you do. You make a fight with a champion, give him a world championship fight. Fuck it. You know, he's young and he's got plenty of time to bounce back. I like it. I wouldn't even have been mad if Tank would have took a Floyd Schofield fight.
Yeah,
that would have been more formidable for me than Lamont Roach. And I hate to sound like I'm taking anything from Lamont Roach, but I just don't want to see Tank in there with no 30 guys.
Yeah, like nobody won't, like he's not going to get the credit that he's seeking.
Yeah, because when you think 30 or a weight class below, you automatically say they have no kind of power that's going to do anything with Tank. Period. Period.
Like
now there have been exceptions in the past, but you know that Tank's not getting knocked out this fight, or he's going to get. None of that's going to happen. So give me anybody other than somebody from a lower weight class for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's all I had tonight, bro. I didn't want to. Where we in? We had an hour and a half, man. That's all.
We definitely appreciate you, brother.
Man, for sure, man. I think I went over everything, the recap of this weekend, and man, I definitely want to thank you guys for joining me. I've been on hiatus. It's been about a month since I went live, man. I promise you guys, I'm gonna try and get back here as often as I used to, at least once or twice a week, going live and pumping out those daily videos.
Hey, before I get out of here, brother, I'm gonna say you got to hit him with that line for me one time about hitting the heavy bag.
Well, get your goof ass in here.
Get your goof ass in here. And hit that
get
bag.
your goof ass in here and hit the bag.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to thank my guest.
Good to see you back. Good to see you back, Heavy, for sure.
Absolutely.
I've been sitting back thinking, I've been sitting back thinking, fucking Tio's sacked all his drivers. He's driving 4 trucks at once. He said, fuck his all. You can all fuck off.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
just drive them, right?
And I had to find another floater for a truck as well, man. So it's been, it's easy to get guys on trucks, but it's hard to keep them. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, though.
Sure.
Thank you again, Mark, DJ,
Thank
Nine,
you.
Mike Saunders, the whole gang, RC, Slick 50, GMT, Punch Talk, man. Thank you, everybody. That's it for this one, Mark. I'm gonna see you the next time.
Hey, the heavy bag T-shirt got a run down on the weekend at the family do too.
Oh, for real, man. Listen, you know how when I started the live and I got everybody shouting out the channel, you gotta put in the chat, man. You gotta shoot a video for me, man, shouting out the channel so I can get you on the intro.
Well, how do I send it to you?
Right there. You can make a video right on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook, yeah. Because I don't got Instagram or Twitter or none of that shit.
No, so what you'll do is you'll take your phone, front face your camera, shoot it, you record it, you end it, and then you can just put it right in the chat.
Send it to you on your Facebook thing.
Yeah, you can do it just like that.
Yeah.
You got me?
Well, I will.
Be looking for one, or I'll remind you to do it.
All
right, my man Mark. All right, man. I appreciate everybody out there in YouTube land, man. Big TL Heavy Bag, man. I am out of here, man. Peace.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV. Y'all make sure you go sub up to my man Heavy Bag Boxing, baby.
Get your dumb ass in and hit this bag.
The Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Y'all just go ahead and subscribe to Heavy Bag Boxing TV. He be lit on his channel.
And Heavy Bag Boxing.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Yo, shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV. That's my little bro.
Kingston 412 in the building. Shout out to my guy T.O. Heavy Bag Boxing TV. Get your bitch ass in here and hit this bag.
Heavy Bag Boxing, all right? You heard it from me. You heard it here first.
Heavy Bags Boxing. Straight out of Norfolk, baby. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
You are tuned in to Heavy Bag Boxing. Get your and hit this bag, dude.
Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing. It's the one and only Blair the Flair. Woo!
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Zach, Super Jewel, 6-time champion world. I'm giving a big shout out to my home team, Heavy Bag TV. You heard? Keep it live.
This is Showtime Sean Porter. You are watching Heavy Bag Boxing.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV. Y'all make sure you go sub up to my man Heavy Bag Boxing, baby.
Get your dumb ass in and hit this bag.
The Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Y'all just go ahead and subscribe to Heavy Bag Boxing TV. He be lit on his channel.
And Heavy Bag Boxing.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Yo, shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
Heavy Bag Boxing TV. That's my little bro.
Kingston 412 in the building. Shout out to my guy T.O. Heavy Bag Boxing TV. Get your bitch ass in here and hit this bag.
Heavy Bag Boxing, all right? You heard it from me. You heard it here first.
Heavy Bags Boxing. Straight out of Norfolk, baby. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing TV.
You are tuned in to Heavy Bag Boxing. Get your and hit this bag, dude.
Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing. It's the one and only Blair the Flair. Woo!
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Zach, Super Jewel, 6-time champion world. I'm giving a big shout out to my home team, Heavy Bag TV. You heard? Keep it live.
This is Showtime Sean Porter. You are watching Heavy Bag Boxing.